Welcome to the next episode of I Got a Story to Tell podcast. My name is Christopher Scott, and I'm the co-founder of Billionaire Bus CEO. On this week's episode, we are interviewing Branden Givand. He is the owner of the Flying Gent, Loft Right, and Loftel here in downtown Columbus. One of the reasons why I wanted to interview Branden was because he knows about the grind that it takes to be an entrepreneur and to run a business. It's not bells and whistles and flashing lights every day. It's literally blood, sweat, and tears. There's going to be some days where you may not get any sleep, some days where you feel like you're on top of the world. But that also is, a part of being an entrepreneur, the thrill of being an entrepreneur, if you're willing to take risk. So I hope you enjoy this podcast. Feel free to comment. We got more podcasts coming to you soon. Enjoy. All right, so I know how it started, but tell the people how it started.
How will it start?
All
the way back?
I mean, depends on how far you want to go.
Alright, so small business marketing, Buckeye Direct, circa 2008. Yeah, last year of college, first year of law school. Just hustling, just putting businesses in a position to kind of leverage their client base into more revenue, more foot traffic, more unique experiences. Just using my creativity to kind of plug people into places. So I did that for about 3 years, putting bands inside of bars and.
You're a promoter?
What's that?
So you would say he was like a promoter?
Oh no, I wouldn't say that.
No. You just put bands inside.
Glorified promoter. Okay, fair. But I did it. But I was a lot more. I was more focused on the 365 experience. So it wasn't just like promoting. Like I actually found bands that I really liked that fit in certain places, that fit with certain. At first, it's like, hey, give me a band. I was actually gonna come up with a flyer. I guess technically that's kind of a promoter, but promoters get kind of a bad rap because
you were branding and curating.
Yeah.
You were helping them brand themselves, but you were curating a specific
experience. Right.
Experience.
Yeah. Because it didn't necessarily end with promoting bands. That's just an easy access point when you're 20 something years old, right? So I would have done anything that someone would have gave me the responsibility and opportunity to do. So if it was come up with a cool happy hour, it might not even involve a band. It's more. And the end game wasn't even to work with restaurants and bars. Again, that's just what you have access to when you're 20 something. You have access to bars. That's where you're at. You can't just walk into. You can't just walk. I mean, you can, but you're gonna look stupid walking into a bank and pitch them your branding and marketing services. I don't have any branding and marketing services. I do know how to party though. That's really what I'm selling. Is selling myself, like we were just saying. You are you, and I'm not trying to be anything more than what I was, which is a 20-something-year-old kid that knew how to get people places and knew how to get the party jumping. So if you want that, then I'm your guy, But also coming up with, most importantly, owning the process and owning the event. I was just doing it in other people's place, but I'm putting my name, my brand on the event. So that was kind of something different than a promoter. Promoters don't really get to own the event. They're just paid to get people places. So I always kind of tried to reverse engineer what does it look like to have my own company or my own followers, and the people that I met.
Hold on a second. So you the whole reverse engineering thing.
Yeah.
So there's a specific term. You remember the term? It was you said that you reverse engineer experiences. That's
Sure.
what you do. That was like your whole like life thesis
Right.
in a sense.
I guess that came up again. Just not even realizing I said that before, but yeah, very much so.
Isn't this essentially what Flying Gent is and
Yeah, it's an exact reflection of those days. I mean, it's like nothing different, really. You know, you're just selling yourself every day and trying to take some grand scheme and just plug people into it and plug things into it and plug colors into it and textures into it. You know? It's just what you have to do if you don't have money, and it's also a smart way to do a lot of things. I think a lot of people have the resources to do stuff. You don't have to reverse engineer anything, so your machine's probably already flawed. You know, you buying a machine off the lot effectively that isn't yours, right? Your business is an extension of you, your thought process, your passions, your vision, your love, your uniqueness, your creativity. So if you're already buying the key, you already got the keys to a pre-made, prefab machine, then probably gonna lose. So yeah, that's part of the struggle though. But building something from scratch isn't easy, but it becomes a lot easier when you start early. And that's kind of what I was doing. Like I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what a Flying Gent was. I didn't know what a loft right was, or any of that. But start doing something. So that's kind of what that was. Just start moving, start doing something. And as long as you're building, you're laying bricks, you're going to come up with something. You're going to build something if you're laying the foundation. And then we go into Swag Revolution, which was music. We like it, or it was too loud?
Slightly loud, because D'Angelo, he get in his mood. And he wow! Woo!
So we get into Swag Revolution, which was a clothing brand that I developed. I think it was just a natural kind of outcropping from doing the marketing thing and kind of being 20-something. Now, of course, you want to do T-shirts, right? Like, that's just a natural thing, right? To have a clothing line, especially if you're into fashion or think you're stylish at all. And everybody's clothing line obviously thinks it's like the coolest thing ever, and everybody has a lifestyle brand. Like, what does that even mean when you're like, what's a lifestyle brand? Like, I was a kid from the Midwest, but like, you just doing something, And I guess ultimately that became the lifestyle, Again, you don't know it at the time, but just kind of like being yourself, and hustling. So that's kind of the brand I was trying to purvey.
That's what Ralph Lauren is. So you're like making, like it's a name.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but the brand is an extension essentially of him. Like
Sure.
He's branding his
Sure.
lifestyle. So
Right.
Flying Gent, Loft Right, and the Loftel
Just an
would
extension
be
of
you.
my own lifestyle, as a brand should be. I mean, it's simple, but I guess kind of deep too. But yeah, so Swag Revolution is like stuff for strong-willed and God-gifted apparel, and it really was just about that, like people who are out here hustling and things you can wear every day. So just T-shirts with designs on them. I usually said swag or something like that. And did and then incorporating the things that I did around the same time with the marketing promotional business. So then you start seeing the game, right? Like I want to control everything within my capabilities, and always growing on those capabilities. So for example, who was my marketing company for swag? It was Buckeye Direct. So who's going to throw the launch party for swag? Buckeye Direct is. Who's going to develop the website for swag? Buckeye Direct is. Who's going to, do the marketing promotions for swag? Buckeye Direct is. So really, like, that's how, it's hard to see it at the time, but if you kind of, I guess you're just emulating people you see out there, like whether it's Steve Jobs or whoever it is, that early on you really are just kind of pretending, you're just kind of playing shop with nothing's really real, just because you printed some T-shirts and you can get some people to wear them, but you know that it's got to start somewhere. So that's kind of what it was. So it was like Swag Revolution presents, or Buckeye Direct presents Swag Revolution. This launch party brought to you by Buckeye Direct, launching Swag Revolution's website or something like that. So Buckeye Direct is still kind of like my company name that I probably will keep, forever. I mean, you never know, but there's sentimental value in that name because that's kind of was the first thing. And so that rolls into swag, and swag rolls into Flying Gent as kind of a maturation of Swag Revolution. At this point, like 20, late 20s, 28, 9, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I have an opportunity to do a pop-up shop inside of Briosa. And if I want to build a pop-up shop, why the hell would I want to just sell T-shirts? So that's kind of was my thought process. Like, why just do T-shirts? Give me an inch, I'll take a mile. So like, we'll build a store inside this coffee shop, like an actual store.
What did you go to school for? I gotta ask you the what did you go to school for question, because you know the world we live in and the way that we were attempted to be programmed.
Mm-hmm. I went to school for political science and sociology. So direct correlation to everything. So not at all. But
So when did it click? It was just like, this is what I need to be doing? Or do you think down the line, everything that you've done and everything that you create is going to go back to the poli-science when it comes time for you to do your philanthropy work? Do you think that's a thing? Or
I don't
do you
know.
think you never use it?
I've always been fascinated by people in politics. But always was always fascinated with a third P, product, and brand specifically. So I don't think I ever thought I was going to have a career in politics or sociology. I don't think that ever was a thought. Going to law school is kind of just another natural thing to do when you go to political science, or you have a political science major. You kind of naturally want to go to law school. They go hand in hand. Though in reality they have nothing to do with each other at all. Worst major in the world. Because I kind of took the easy way out in college because I was interested in politics, and I knew I could bullshit my way through the major. Because I'm a talker. I love convincing people of things, my point of view. I love, take it as a challenge to convince professors that I know what I'm talking about, even if I didn't. That's kind of how it was. And law school's not that way. It's very binary in law school, which I did not. That didn't sit well with me.
The binary aspect of it?
Yeah, because I'm like, that's not how life works. It's not how any of this works. And I know well enough that even within the law, or in jobs within the law, things aren't that black and white. Things are very complex. So I get that you're maybe trying to teach me the game so you can be a better, a better lawyer or whatever legal job you're gonna have. But I also don't like to be, I don't like to jump through hoops.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me jump through hoops. I'll be real disenchanted real quick. So that's kind of how I thought about law school. It's a lot of hoop jumping, and I really didn't want to be a lawyer. Moreover, I kind of thought it was gonna be just a good opportunity as a businessman to have a legal background.
Whoa, stop. What? You thought as a businessman it would be okay? So this is the thing about that. The reason why I stopped you. Okay, see, this is when it gets good.
Okay.
So my overall thought process was the same. I was just like, all right, maybe I should do the JD MBA thing.
Sure.
Because I feel like, okay,
Sure.
I know the business aspect, but I need to get both. Because then if I know the lawyer aspect, then no one can cheat me out of
Right.
it. You know, I won't need a lawyer because I could be my own lawyer. Not taking into consideration that I can't do everything.
You can't do everything. You can't do everything. It's not even smart to attempt to. I wouldn't change or take away the time I spent in law school learning how to think differently, which should be, it shouldn't take law school for you to think differently. It's an expensive lesson. You can think differently doing anything.
True.
Right? But I met a lot of great people. My wife went to school.
She's very awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Smart, super smart. Like she's made to be a lawyer for sure.
What's her concentration?
She's labor employment, some litigation. So she's corporate side, but she's good with the law and she's good with drafting and writing. Like that's her thing for sure. And I am not. Like I live in this gray area, which is why I like business, because you literally get to make the rules.
It's very true.
You literally get, and you get to live or die by them. And I like that game. That's a great game. You get to pick your players. You get to pick the venue. You get to pick your jersey. You get to pick the teams you want to play. You get to pick the rules. Like that's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's hard as hell, but like at the end of the day, you get to sleep easy knowing that you get to wake up the next day and either start fresh or double down.
It's true.
I like those binary options.
It's what you make it.
It is what you make it. And no one can tell you what it is or isn't. You get to control. It's like being your own PR person for yourself. That's what business is kind of like. You get to, and a lot of people take advantage of that, right? Like everybody's a business person now.
Yeah, everybody got a business.
Everybody got a business, and so everyone gets to get on the Instagram, and everybody is doing something, which is fine. Like I feel like it's not a negative thing, but it's a lot of power. It's very powerful to be a business person. So, you get to portray yourself however you want to, whether it's true or not. Which is why companies have PR firms. Obviously, it's the whole point.
So, what's your method to stay in a world with everybody, wanting to be a business person and just living in a world where everything is online, everything is digital? You have the apps, but you do have, different people creating brands and it's showing up. Like what sets what you're doing with Flying Gent apart, as well as, Loft Right and, the Loft House?
I think it's unique. I think it's a unique proposition in this part of the country and Central Ohio specifically, in the Midwest. A lot of things that set me apart are just that I look different than anything else you see. I don't just mean me personally. I mean the things that's what sets you apart, just because it's something that you don't recognize in this part of the country, in this neck of the woods.
Parallels.
Yeah. There's no context here for stuff. If I'm trying to bring a big city type flavor or atmosphere to a smaller market, there's that just within itself. Like, i.e., people come from Seattle, Brooklyn, Dallas, Houston, whatever, and they're like, oh, this place is really cool. This place is really cool. Like, this is something like, I could totally see something like this in like their town, like DC or something like this. Like, oh, I appreciate it, man. Your brands are cool. Your atmosphere is cool. Music's great. Like, this place is awesome. They buy something or they don't, whatever. But then what I find here locally is people are just like, so you know what I mean? They just don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's fine too, but like that by itself sets me apart. And the other thing that sets me apart is like, or not just me, any person who wants to be set apart from this culture we're talking about now, where things are kind of perceived to be easy, and it's easy to be a business owner now because of the internet and all these things, is to not necessarily broadcast, but actually genuine, just kind of give no fucks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like actually not giving a fuck, because people naturally want to take what you have when you're building something and have something, and when you don't let them, and you don't feel bad about whatever thing they're dangling in front of you. When you don't care anymore, then people like yourself tend to naturally kind of gravitate in the door. It happens a lot slower than the 2017 way, but it's more sustainable.
What's the 2017 way?
I mean, it's a big shotgun, right? Like, it's just blast, 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 critical mass, numbers. I'm cool. Like. See how many likes turn into dollars, It's like this giant inflated market, like this. Like it's like trading on margin, and none of it's actually, when you get down to brass tacks, there's not a thing.
It doesn't equate to anything.
You're
just sharing.
You're just sharing things around, like
attention. You're sharing attention. You just want, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me right now.
Which devalues real attention.
True.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm not like I'm not the old ho-hum guy. Like, I'm doing things the old way. Like, I'm trying to get, my numbers like anybody else. Because, I mean, that's money. Like, eyeballs is money. And if you think that in this day and age you can do it without the attention, you're gonna have a short shelf life. But I think that, being yourself and the authenticity is what people ultimately want, whether it's through a social platform or whether it's through brick and mortar or whether it's through, your website or your podcast or whatever it is. Like, you've gotta be real, and real don't get likes all the time.
I'm not in it for the likes. So, another episode in. I appreciate everybody being patient with our audio issues. It's getting better. Most definitely it's getting better. Wanted to say thank you to Branden for being willing to be a guest on the podcast, as well as letting us shoot the podcast episode at his shop. Be sure to follow Billionaire Bust at Billionaire Bust CO on IG, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also follow me on IG, Instagram, and Facebook at Chris Dash. Any comments you have about the show, please leave them below. We appreciate you guys and being willing to support the community. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs. Remember, always chase billions.